Hi everyone and welcome back. Thank you for watching today. Today I'm working on a layout for the Hip Kit Club. It's for a challenge that was issued, and I've mentioned before every week they have weekend challenges that they issue on the Facebook group, and they're just a lot of fun. I really like it because it challenges you a little bit. And so this week's layout was to create a layout using a recipe. They provided a recipe, and the recipe ingredients were 1 piece of cardstock, 3 pieces of pattern paper, 1 tag, 1 wood veneer, die cuts from like the bits and pieces packages or die cuts, and to use some gold, a rub-on or a stamp, and then 1 handmade element. And the handmade element that I created for the layout is was showing it there at the beginning. It's there at the left. It's the handmade tag. I implemented the tag as well as my handmade element all in one. And all I did was I have that wide ribbon. It's like a tulle, but it's not tulle. It's actually a ribbon, and it's kind of like a white ribbon. And so I just sewed that on, and then I created the pink ruffle at the bottom. And I'm going to use that as a layering piece on the layout. And what I'm doing right now is I am using some inks that came in the add-on kit and the color add-on. Every month the Hip Kit has a color add-on, which is always fun products. It could be stamping, it could be mixed media. This month was the they're called Izinks, and they're by Tulip. And this color is, I can't even see the color on here. It's a pink color, and then I'm also going to be using the blue. Now, here in a second, you're going to see me make a huge mess up because I tipped it. Yeah, there you go. Tipped over the ink, and I was like, oh my goodness. But anyway, I went ahead and applied it to my project, and I'm going to scoop it up and get as much back in the bottle as I can. Now, I will tell you, this was a little bit different than I expected. It's not thin like a mist or other inks. It's a thicker consistency, and so when I was applying it, it was a little bit going on a little bit different than I had anticipated because it was thicker. So you saw me there at the beginning. I applied it straight to the paper, and then it was like too much of just a solid blob. So then I added some water to it to thin it down a little bit, to give it more of there I am adding some more to kind of just thin it out a little bit. It's a very strong pigmented ink, so it is strong in color, and it is thicker. So if you're going to be applying it this way, I would suggest that you do water it a little bit, water it down. And I know I just saw on the Facebook group for Hip Kit, Irit is on the design team, and she has an awesome video she just uploaded using these inks and different ways that you can use them. I think she used them as a mist, and I haven't even had a chance to watch it yet, but I'm definitely going to hit that video and watch it because these inks are really pretty, and they have kind of like a pearlescent look to them, but they're a little bit different than the typical inks that we use. So I'll put a link to her video down in the bottom so that you can take a look at that. If you're getting these inks, they're just beautiful colors. So what I did is I started my base cardstock and adding some ink splatters and just some ink there I'm going to be using on the background, and I'm going to be doing some layering. The 3 pattern papers that I'm going to be using are from the November kit. Now, the November kit for the Hip Kit was it was more of a holiday theme, like Christmas papers and embellishments. However, the colors are such, and the products are such that you can use them for just a regular layout, which is what I'm doing. This is the November kit, which, like I said, had a lot of Christmas themed papers, but I'm not using it as a Christmas layout. This is just a bright layout. I'm doing a photo of my niece, Madison, and so it has nothing to do with Christmas. In fact, she's wearing shorts and a tank top. So I'm using the papers, the size that's not as themed. What I'm using came in the kit, and you're going to see me use the LA Studio Good Cheer line, which is the paper I'm using as the holiday quilt. One side is a beautiful quilt pattern with Christmas patterns. The other side is a pink and white stripe, which I absolutely love. So I'm going to be using that side. And then another paper I'm going to be using, very thin strip with a blue stripe, you'll see it, is from the Pebbles collection, Home for Christmas. And it's the Snow Flurries paper. One side is blue with white snowflakes. I'm going to be using the blue stripe that you see there on the left, a very faint stripe. And then the gray dot that I'm using is also LA Studio. It's from the Love You More collection, and it's called Dots and Hearts. And it's a beautiful paper. I do love it. It's that that side is the gray, and it has polka dots, but then every so often you see the hearts. The other side has a white background, and it has arrows in gray and then red hearts. And so that's a really fun paper. So you can see that I'm using these. It's a Christmas kit for the most part, but I'm able to use it and totally not even a Christmas theme at all. And so that's what I do love about the hip kits. They are so versatile that even though it is primarily, you would look at it going, that's a Christmas kit, you can use it and not even have it. It's so versatile that you can use it for just a regular layout, which is what I chose to do. And so I'm going to fuss with this a little bit. I'm going to add a little bit of pink washi tape. That washi tape is from Pink Fresh Studio, and I like it because it's like a gradient effect with the gold stripe, and it's kind of like a pink to an orange, and so I thought that would just be pretty layered on there. And now I just have to warn you, the end of the video cuts off, which I was so frustrated about, because once you finish the layout, you can't go back and redo it. And the way my camera is set, I can't see the camera recording, so I can't see that it's shut off. So I do get almost to the very end of it, but you will see at the very end it's going to cut off parts, but I do have some still shots to show you, and I am very sorry. I'm trying to figure out what happened on that. I use my camera, my phone, and it's the first time it's ever happened. I put it in airplane mode. I turn off my notifications. It's actually hooked to a power source. So I've tried to cover all my bases as to why that might be shutting off, and I haven't figured out yet why that shut off. But I do get most of the layouts completed for you before it cuts off. And so there you see that beautiful pink stripe paper that I was talking about. Now, I cannot stand to waste that paper. I did not want to just glue. I wanted the background, the layout to be see that paper on the other side? Isn't that gorgeous? The design team did some amazing things with that paper, but I'm using the other side. But I didn't want to waste that whole center by just matting it. So I'm going to cut out the center, and I'm going to save that paper for later. Now, in hindsight, I probably should have matted that on cardstock and then put the layout on top of it, because it ended up being, it didn't smooth out as much, because usually when you mount a background like that you've done mixed media and inks on, it helps to put it on a full background so that it will kind of flatten it a little bit. And so you're going to see here, it didn't really flatten. I probably should have put a piece of cardstock behind it, but I didn't, and it's done, and it's okay. But I did want to cut out that center because I didn't want to waste that whole sheet of paper, because it's just beautiful. I'm going to see what I can do with that. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and mount that on that pink stripe to give it a border effect, which I love that look. I just think it finishes the pages so well. I don't do it on all my layouts, but certain layouts I just like to have that done. So I'm going to be mounting that on there. And I don't know what it is. I can't seem to cut straight for anything. I don't know if everybody else has a problem, but even with a paper cutter, I think I need a new paper cutter. I think I used this one forever, and I think the arm may be crooked. And so you see when I lay it down on that background, it's like it seems like it's cut crooked. So anyway, I'm going to work with that a little bit, and it's going to take me a little bit to finally get that cut just right and mounted. And so because I'm not doing the center, I'm just adding my adhesive to the outer edge of the layout, so it only sticks to the outer edge, obviously. And part of the challenge was to use die cuts. Now, there was a beautiful package that came in the kit for November, and it's actually from American Crafts, and it's the Bits collection, Bits packaging with, you know, they have the Bits packaging, and it has lots of little embellishments and tags and that kind of thing. And I didn't use it on this layout because it is very Christmas. The package that came in the kit is all Christmas. The tags are. And since this is not a Christmas layout, I didn't want to use those. So I've just pulled some things that I have in my stash. The XO card, you've probably seen that. That's from the Heidi Swap Project Life kit, the Gold Foil Project Life kit. So I pulled that card in to not only complement the pink, but also to cover the gold element that was needed. And then just there on the right in that pile are just some random die cuts and pieces that I have. I have a drawer in my scrap room that I keep just bits and pieces in like that, and I throw them in. If I have some left over from a kit, one or two, or if I find some cute pieces that were a print and cut, I'll throw them in there. And when I need some bits and pieces, I go through that. And that's what I did. I pulled out, you can see, I think that's an Amy Tangerine tag that says hello there. That thing is so old, and I've never used it. So I went through that stash and kind of pulled out some little bits and pieces to use on the layout. And the Love with the Gold is also from Heidi Swap's gold foil collection, and they're beautiful. I love everything in that line. So I wanted to add a little bit of that. And right now I'm just trying to check my placement. And the video is going to cut off right about now. And again, I'm so sorry about that. But again, I do have some still shots where you can see the elements that I completed and used. And like I said, I've used some older product. That's a Dear Lizzie pinwheel. And I just pulled out older items to use. I did add some gold stars and dots. And I hope you've enjoyed the video, the part that you got of it. I'm working on that and we'll get that corrected. And I appreciate any questions or comments. And thank you again for watching, and you have a great day. See you next time.